Can we all taste war, please? My name is Taiwo Ajakaye, a Nigerian, a patriotic Nigerian. What you don't know is that experience is not always the best teacher. No, not in all cases. I've seen a deep desire among Nigerians, especially the young ones, who just want to experience war zone. So let me paint the picture of how it will look like when it comes, if it will come. Usually, this is how war starts and ends. Beginning, people insist they don't want to talk. We must scatter everything, and war begins. Ending, people begin to beg, let us talk and end this war. Yoruba says, you only know the beginning of an issue, you can never tell how it ends. I'm above 40, so I have a little glimpse of how it may look like. We grew up as kids in Akure, seeing what was popularly known then as Ogwamaboriowo in the early 80s. We saw how people were dragged out. They would plead and plead, they would cry and cry. The next thing that will happen, somebody will just bring tire. Egbe petrowa, fire. The next thing, agony everywhere as the guy sets on fire. What if revolution now eventually turns to full-blood war?
Rise, fight, and defend your dignity.
The next thing that you're going to see is that the federal government will release battalions from barracks to defend the sovereignty of Nigeria against both internal and external forces as stipulated in the Constitution. And that Constitution is hereby suspended, and the Commander-in-Chief declares the state of emergency. Then the National Assembly is eventually suspended also. And the only person with absolute power is the same person in Aso Rock that we said we don't want. Then everybody is at his mercy. Then the beginning of the movie is somehow interesting because analysts will keep on analyzing. Everybody buying food stuff to keep at home. Then our best TV station suddenly becomes Nigeria Television Authority to hear what the next step of government will be. We will tune to Channels TV, Silverbird, AIT, etc. to hear the progress from Revolution Now movements also. Then we make a few calls to friends and families. We keep tweeting and we keep using our Facebook. Bam, before you know it, 6 days gone. And Muslims yearn to meet on Friday of that first week in their mosque to pray. The first Sunday, we all yearn to be in church as Christians. Those whose messages since 2015 have been Fulani headsmen, Buhari, Fulanization, resource control, nepotism, etc., suddenly open to the book of Psalm 132, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secured. And we begin to pray all kinds of prayer. By the second week, those behind the scene are already out of the country because they can afford it. Oh, sorry. They left with their family before Commander-in-Chief declares state of emergency. Yele Sowore is already in the USA encouraging Revolution Now members to go on in Nigeria, while Nnamdi Kanu will be encouraging his supporters in the South and Southeast to go on with their emancipation of Biafra. Then, streets become desolate. Meanwhile, we're still tweeting and arguing. Then we begin to notice that some can't tweet again. What has happened? The cell sites feeding their area might have been badly affected, so there won't be network. Unfortunately, they couldn't move anywhere. Guess what? The filling stations can't sell either. And the base stations run out of fuel, so there wouldn't be network. The guys in the network operation centers, NOC, in all the internet service providers couldn't get to NOC because of fuel. And your phone is gone because there is no network. Then you noticed that food stuff at home is getting low, and you look at the children as a man and your wife. You've got to summon courage to go out. Then the military guy that you thought you knew suddenly turned to a strange being. You know what they call morale high. Then the family left behind may never see you again. Sorry. And the woman is looking at all means to keep the children alive, even if she will have to lose you. Then after a while, you begin to sense much fear everywhere. Death due to hunger setting. Remember that the commander-in-chief is enjoying his life in Aso Rock. And life becomes unbearable. Meanwhile, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Ginger is gone. There's no means of transmission. And the TV stations are shut down except government television station, NTA. Then the international communities makes cool money from the crisis, just like they've been making from African crisis. And those who are left behind ask a solemn question: what exactly happened and how did we get here? Then we all analyze the issues that led to this immediately after 2019 election. Then you discover there what was already in motion, albeit in slow pace according to most of us. But the president and his cabinet were already taking that right direction, except that we don't like the pace. Then you know the price of peace. So what next? We suddenly agree to negotiate. And the international communities get involved after making enough gains to run their own economy in the Western world. And the negotiation starts again, but this time around on the round table we once rejected. Meanwhile, the little infrastructures are gone, the bridges are gone. Then the generation that eventually makes it start afresh from the scratch, but the government remains the old folks that we said we don't want. Or better still, the people that started revolution now said they don't want. Then those who instigated it comes back to be part of the government, except a few that will go to jail. And we are back to the same calmness we were running away from in the first place. I really don't see any big deal in testing how war zone looks like. Can we all taste war, please? Let's just push a little while. Maybe the elastic limit will be exceeded. One more thing. You won't be able to go to church or mosque. When we are done experimenting with revolution now, that we know little or nothing about the purpose, the people behind it, and the expected results that they were waiting for, we will all realize that we've been scammed by the elite club as always. I like to watch movies, especially the ones that depict government and war, Designated Survivor, 24 Hours, and the likes. I like to know the behind the scenes. Now, are you ready? Can we all taste war now?